On the show tonight, Jane's Addiction vocalist, Lollapalooza co-founder and music legend Perry Farrell stops by to discuss the state of music and his role in one of the biggest music festivals in the nation. And Dead Boy and the Elephant Men, who will appear at Lollapalooza, will join Heidi Mae for an exclusive musical performance. Don't go anywhere. There's a sign over Hollywood Boulevard that says, "Thanks, Hollywood," and shows the faces of the Republican Party's favorite target, popular and outspoken liberal actors. Yes, thanks, Barbara Streisand, for sending in an angry, typo-ridden letter to the president that Fox News held up as a shining example of celebrity ignorance. You're the kind of celebrity who's ruining it for informed liberals because there's nothing more mobilizing to conservatives than a bunch of really beautiful, ridiculously overpaid, and completely uninformed celebrities speaking out about what's wrong with the Bush administration and the Iraq War. The conservative pundits, who never miss an opportunity to pick on sissies, take great delight in using a few stupid Hollywood liberals to pigeonhole the entire entertainment industry as being out of touch with real America. It is a very successful campaign, especially in a climate of fear. And it's deflected attention away from the fact that conservative tough guys like Sean Hannity, Rush Limbaugh, and Bill O'Reilly are just as rich and decadent as Hollywood types. Those who make their living creating illusions for us should realize that if they're going to break that illusion by talking politics, they should have their facts straight so they can back up their criticisms so people can see that they're serious and just not soap opera stars who think Bush is a big meanie. As well-meant as their intentions are, the safe spaces of award ceremony podiums and red carpets might not be the best places for the celebrities to weigh in politically, because to hear them say they feel for the soldiers while dressed in a $20,000 gown might seem insincere to a lot of people. Hearing from celebrities can be good, but it has to be done the right way, because the conservatives are always looking for ways to diminish the opposition. But I still wish the Democratic Party would distance themselves from Hollywood, because what America needs right now is the promise of a better way, not the promise of a party too enthralled with celebrities to care about the average man. Joining me now is Perry Farrell, co-founder of Lollapalooza and legendary frontman of Jane's Addiction, Porno for Pyros, and Satellite Party. While preparing for the upcoming Lollapalooza festival this summer in Chicago, Perry was kind enough to take some time to come in and chat with me. Perry, thanks for being here, man.
What's going on,
Good to see you. The last time I saw you was years ago on a Jane's Addiction tour.
So the last time we got together was 91.
97.
Oh, you showed up at 97.
Florida.
There you go, I remember.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
After I did the liner notes for the live album.
We were in a room, were we in a room together with you too? Was it in Miami?
Yeah, and you all were playing, and I was standing behind the guitar player as he was watching Navarro. I'm like, get lessons, dude. Take some lessons from the man.
I remember that was a
good
strange
show.
room.
Yeah, as a Flea on bass.
Yeah.
It was that lineup. So it's been a while since I saw you then, and now I guess you're gearing up for this 3-day Lollapalooza in Chicago at Grants Park.
So yeah, man, we're doing Lollapalooza this year in Chicago, 3 days as opposed to, we used to do 38 shows through the summer. Back in the day when we were touring through there, all the promoters were independent guys, and they would bust their ass trying to find a good location, and up would go the fences and the toilets and the stages, and people would just be tromping around the fields having a good time. But the promotion business got corporatized, and most of the promoters got basically bought out, and they were driving festivals into the amphitheaters that the corporate promoter basically owned, all these amphitheaters around the country. So the difference between now And what we used to do is actually there's no difference. We've actually returned to the old format. We went and found our own field, and we build it from the ground up like we used to.
What's the rewarding, what's the rewarding part of Lollapalooza? Just like summing up the whole thing, what's the greatest thing that you've gotten from it?
Well, to me, it's like a fountain of youth in my life, because I always feel when you are attached to music, music is this beautiful energy. And if you are in and around music, if you listen to it, have a passion for it, if it makes you dance, if you respond to it, if you make it, you create it, you can stay eternally young. I mean, look at Mick Jagger, look at Steven Tyler. What are these cats? Are they aliens? No, they're musicians.
Yeah.
And so with me, the idea to be able to hear the young people's music and hear them coming up, and they're when they do it right, it's about revolution, and it's about rebellion, and all those things that the young people still believe in and have faith in. They're going to change things, and they don't have to do it that way. They can do it this way, and it's our way. Those things, that's energy. That's just pure heat and friction and light, and that's what I get out of it. I get to be involved in it, and be kind of an alchemist to bring that in. Oh, I like that. I love that energy. Come on over here and meet this energy here.
Yeah. Since you're picking all these bands for Lollapalooza, and you're so much in the world of music, where do you think music is now? Because some people would say, music sucks, and I don't think so. I think music is fine as it's ever been.
Yeah. Listen, what appears to be music sucks is only, again, it's corporatization of an industry. And what they did is they saw good routes, good avenues where music was coming from, and said, okay, I'm just going to buy those avenues and buy those routes. So now, you think you're driving down the same old road. Hey, this is going to be great. I know this turn. You turn, you go, whoa, that building wasn't up there. Oh my God, what the hell is that now?
Yeah.
And that's what you see. You just got to take a different route.
Build your own.
Build your own. But I heard the other day, people in Atlanta are throwing house parties, inviting kids from LA to go out there, and they're basically not even playing in clubs anymore. They're going to play in people's houses, in their garages. Hence, back to the original idea of the garage band, except they have a keg in the corner. You could be fooled into believing that you open up your Mac and there's the iTunes top downloads. What the hell is that?
Yeah.
I've never heard of any of these people, and I wouldn't book them for Lollapalooza if you paid me. And don't be fooled by it. Some asshole has got stock in Apple. That's all that is. If you really want to get your music, you gotta look to your big brother, I should say, like I used to. There's new routes and new ways of finding out your music, but make no mistake about it, there's incredible young musicians that you just go, holy
every day,
shit,
every country, every
these cats
town,
are inspired
all the time. Yeah.
And you know what? Just go. You gotta put your ear back to the ground, and what's gonna happen is these places, these routes that have been corporatized, are gonna turn into white elephants. In other words, soon enough, no one's gonna buy them, no one's gonna go there, and they're gonna say, please buy my catalog, and everybody's gonna laugh at them, which is happening all around the industry, some of these guys.
Yeah. Well, okay, so record industry in peril, basically. Well,
corporatized.
Well, caving in under the weight of its own greed, arrogance, and sheer size.
Right.
So what could save it?
Well, it's inevitable. You don't even have to worry about saving it. It'll save itself. Like I say, there's a kid who wants to pick up a guitar just because he loved Led Zeppelin. He's going to look in the mirror and he's going to be goofy, and he might be 12 years old. By the time he's 15, he can play pretty well. There's going to be a kid who's really got some pipes, and he's going to hang out with that guy, and they're going to start playing rock together, and they're going to get girls. And so, you don't have to worry about it, man. It'll save itself. Now, are they gonna, is the rest of the world gonna go and download an iTunes thing for 99 cents or $14.95? I don't know, it doesn't seem so. No matter what they say, the honest truth is, they're sucking. They're making music, and they're making it worse and worse, because they say now, all right, here's what we're gonna do. They have some smarty pants geek, and he says, look, the stats come back that the ages of 16 to 35 are downloading music like crazy, and they're white kids. So they go, okay, well then don't sign anybody that entertains 16 to 35-year-old white kids. What do we have left? We have little girls, 6 to 14. They don't know how to download, and they'll buy it. You know, they're buying Brat dolls, and they'll buy you know, Britney Spears records. Okay, sign up 1 million of them. Okay, and they go out there and they sign up 1 million, you know, knockoffs of Britney Spears. And they tell them what to do, which is even better, because they don't have any, you know, fucked up, you know, junkies to have to find out where the hell are they. They're supposed to be in the studio. It's like, okay, you know, where is she? You know, get her in here, give her a piece of chocolate, and tell her to dance, and get her a dance coach. But really what happens is the entire world suffers, because we have to endure 80 tons of Britney Spears knockoffs when we're going to work. And I attribute this as the #1 attribute to road rage in this world and in this country.
Bad music?
Bad music, because of people are downloading, and so these guys that are doing their market research figured out who to actually pump any music that anybody would buy. And the guys that are really good are out there just going, I guess I'm gonna call my friend in Atlanta and see if I can play his house.
Right.
And that's what's happening.
Yeah. I guess Jane's Addiction at this point, not to belabor an old point, the band is broken up and it's in the rear view and you're on to the next thing. But it was a great band.
Thank you.
And, you know, undeniable impact. What do you take from it?
I think what we were absolutely was part of a culture and a time in history, in the world that's I find it to be a strange, a unique, and somewhat overlooked time period. I'm not exactly sure why. I think maybe because we were truly underground. Things were caving in at that time. You had hair metal bands that were predominantly on the airwaves, and they owned the radio at that time. We basically forced MTV and radio to change just because nobody was paying attention to what they were pushing. And of course, them being, as I say, you know, looking to corporatize anything they can, came and said, oh shit, there's a long line over there.
Yeah.
Because we truly came from the underground, I think that, you know, we weren't the Beatles and the Stones, because we were making a point, I think, to kind of, hey, look, you know, that's great, you guys are up there and everybody's running around. I mean, I was so anti-pop. You know, the first video that we ever did, Been Caught Stealing, I basically wore not a ski mask, but a stocking over my face, because I didn't want to be seen on MTV.
Oh, is that why you did that?
Yeah, because I thought it was just not cool. And of course, now I think it's real cool.
Yeah. Well, I remember when I first saw Jane's, I think those times cannot be discounted, and your impact on them can't be undervalued. And it sounds kind of corny, but you know, Lollapalooza and you and Jane's Addiction changed my life. You changed how many people saw our band, my band, and you know, I'll always be indebted to you. Like, you changed my life. And it's just weird to kind of sum it up like to a person, but arguably it would be you and Lollapalooza, because we'd play these towns and all of a sudden thousands of people who ended up liking us saw us. And like, we went through all those towns a year later on our next album tour, and the crowds were like plentiful, you know, many times over what they were before. And I'm like, what are you all doing here? Like, saw you last summer, dude, that killed. I was like,
well, you did kill, so you know, you can thank me, but I have to thank you too, because every day that we would watch you and how intense you were, I mean, you did it all on your own. I mean, we might have had the vehicle, we were just riding together, man.
Yeah, well, you're creating, and I'm so happy about this one happening this summer, because you're going to create a vehicle for your Dead Boy and the Elephant Men's, and I'm hoping there's like another 50 of those great bands that all these kids are going to get to see and run out there and support them. So I'm looking forward to it. Thanks. And thanks for being on my show.
Oh man, my pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. It's great. Coming up later in the show, an exclusive musical performance from Dead Boy and the Elephant Men. But first, another outspoken installment of IFC's Soapbox.
My name is Jeff Quick, and I'm pro-death penalty.
My name is Stephen Rohde. I served on the clemency team for Stanley Tukey Williams.
Hi, I'm Deb, and I'm pro-death penalty.
My name is Sam Arbati. I'm the Deputy Director for the Western Region of Amnesty International USA.
My name is Mitchell Keeter. I'm a professor of criminal law and procedure at Western State University.
My name is Mike Farrell. I'm the president of the board of directors of Death Penalty Focus, and we believe the death penalty should be abolished in the United States, that it's inappropriate, that it's ineffective, that it is inconsistent with the stated ideals of this nation.
The only way to validate the sanctity of the life that was taken is to forfeit the life of the criminal murderer.
The death penalty is not a deterrent. States with capital punishment have higher crime rates and murder rates than states without the death penalty.
When I was 24 years old, a man who I was very close to, who I loved very much, was shot and killed and brutally murdered. I feel that if they did catch the person who did that to him, they would deserve to die.
People of color who do the same crime as does a white person are more likely to get the death penalty than is the white person. So there's nothing like fairness across the board in the system.
It is fundamentally unjust for a murderer to receive a fate better than that he inflicted upon his victim.
We don't, as a society, go to rape victims and say, what should we do with rapists? We know what we do with rapists. And one of the things we don't do with rapists is rape them.
I don't feel that the death penalty is murder. It's a punishment.
We're keeping company with countries like China and Iran. We're not keeping very good company when we execute our own citizens.
There's no way to make amends to a murder victim. And that's why no matter how good a person a murderer becomes, how many children's books he writes, he's already taken a life, and that's irrevocable, and so must be the punishment.
We should lift ourselves up, deny this cruel and unusual form of punishment, and move to a more civilized society.
I never would have guessed that there would be a market out there for celebrity perfumes. Isn't it enough to watch people on TV without drenching yourself in a perfume that tries to mimic the smell of how rich and fabulous they are? Apparently not. So after blatantly criticizing these sellouts, I realized I'm famous too. It's time for me to share my musk. So a few months ago, I traveled to Paris, France to work with the same smellologists that brought you Religious Tramp, that's Jessica Simpson's perfume. We worked from dawn to dusk to develop a smell that would perfectly encapsulate me, and we ended up with something reminiscent of a perfect summer's evening ruined by a pack of odoriferous wolves. Now, some of you may not agree with me putting my name on a perfume for teens, but you have to see the bigger picture. I am a brand, and it would be irresponsible of me not to plaster my name on as many products as possible. I'm talking about Henry Rollins brand ointments, shellacs, sheet sets, muffin tins, natural juices, 20-inch rims, log cabins, coffee, and jambalaya mix. And in order to maximize my profiteering strategy, my branding manager and I have come up with a 4-point action item list that will translate my good name into millions upon millions of units sold. First, I'll become CEO of my corporation because it'll legitimize me, and if I do anything criminal, like ripping off consumers, I will never go to jail for it. Second, I need a backstory that's going to make me relatable to consumers so they'll think that I'm just like them, only richer. I'm thinking of saying that I was a divorced mother of 2 who began my empire by selling snickerdoodle cookies to my neighbors. Third, I need to finally call Richard Simmons back and set up that meeting he's been wanting all of these years. That man tells people how, what, and when to eat. Now that's the kind of power I'm aiming for. Finally, I need to kill that little voice in my head that keeps telling me I'm selling out. Until next time, I'll see you in the supermarket. And now, here's Heidi May with this week's musical performance from Dead Boy and the Elephant Men.
Thanks, Henry. To understand the unique name that Dax Riggs chose for his band, you must first consider his unusual upbringing. Raised by a religious mother, it was a viewing of the David Lynch classic, The Elephant Man, that led Dax to question her beliefs and find his own path. He chose music. And while he's performed under the name Dead Boy and the Elephant Men since 2000, it took him 4 years to find his perfect musical companion in Tess Bernay. Making their television debut here on IFC, we are proud to introduce Dead Boy and the Elephant Men, Uncut.
Spirit close my spine to the brain, following the railroad tracks down again. I need space with soul, maybe we can die there. Maybe we can stop. I'm already dead. Yeah, stop. I'm already dead.
Thank you again to my guests, Dead Boy and the Elephant Men and Perry Farrell. Before we go, in honor of Perry's visit today, and with the festival circuit kicking into high gear in the coming months, this week's end credits go to Lou Adler and Bill Graham, two pioneers of the rock concert. Lou Adler spearheaded a group of producers to create the Monterey International Pop Festival in 1967. The festival was the first major live appearance of Jimi Hendrix, The Who, and Janis Joplin. Unlike many festivals to follow, acts performed for free, and ticket sales were donated to charity. And while we're on the subject of philanthropy, no one leveraged the power of rock and roll better than Bill Graham. A Holocaust survivor, Graham became one of the most important promoters in music history, embracing alternative culture by featuring bands like Jefferson Airplane and the Grateful Dead. Graham's influence and inspiration were best exemplified in producing a string of extremely successful benefit concerts, thanklessly raising millions of dollars for human rights and hunger while delivering some of the best concerts ever orchestrated. So even though you can't avoid getting gouged by Ticketmaster at most concerts these days, festivals like Bonnaroo in Tennessee and Lollapalooza in Chicago have worked to avoid the Ticketmaster monopoly while also affiliating themselves with some cool charities, and they still exist for you to get out in the sun, get dirty, and listen to some solid rock and roll. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.